So I just came to thank you for giving this party such a boost in such a tough corner of the state. It's pretty easy to be a Denver Democrat. You can't really swing a dead cat in Denver without knocking over a Democrat. You can't actually, it's a city ordinance. And, but I think to be an Elbert County Democrat takes a lot of cojones, a lot of chutzpah, a lot of courage. And I know it's been a tough time for a lot of folks. I came to my first milk can supper, which I think preceded this event, about 15 years ago. I know the county's grown a lot. I know the party is making up for in noise what it sometimes lacks in numbers. And I salute you for that. It seems like these days the country is getting run by the people who make the most noise on talk radio or cable TV. And the good news is there's more of us than there are of them. I think yes. We've got a majority in the U.S. House, a majority in the U.S. Senate, and a president that we can be proud of. So, if it's of any comfort to you, things used to be pretty bleak in the State House too. And I'll just tell you real quick how we got where we are and where I hope we go next. Once upon a time, and the kids will read about this in history books, Democrats were in the minority in the state legislature. Just 10 years ago, we were, even 6 years ago, we were outnumbered in the State House and State Senate. We didn't have the governorship. We had just one statewide office, a guy named Ken Salazar was Attorney General. Just a few cycles later, we now have majorities in the State House and State Senate. We hold all but the Attorney Generalship. We got both U.S. Senate seats. We got a Democratic governor, and we've got a majority. 5 of the 7 seats in the U.S. House that come from Colorado are held by Democrats. I say this not because I want us to rest on our laurels or pat ourselves on the back, but because I think 2 things are important. One, that we stay hungry. I'm a big believer in the fire in the belly school of politics. I think the hungrier team usually wins. And I want to make sure that we've got all the same enthusiasm that put us in this position going into the 2010 election, so we keep these seats. But the more important thing I wanted to just say is the point of getting power is not to keep it, it's to use it. The point of getting power is not just to get your back slapped by more important people with fancier titles and bigger offices. The point is actually to use the power that you get to improve the lives of the people that you represent, which is what we tried to do in the State House and the State Senate for the last 4 or 5 years. Tried to improve education, reduce the cost of health care, rebuild our infrastructure, increase the use of renewable energy, reduce our reliance on some fossil fuel, energize our economy, invest in some homegrown industries like bioscience and biotechnology and tourism and aerospace. We've made progress on all these fronts, but we've got a lot of work to do. I'm running for the U.S. Senate because I want to represent the state that you and I love the best way that I know how. And I don't think there's anybody in this race who has a stronger record of bringing Democrats and Republicans together to solve some big problems, finding common ground when we can, and drawing the line when we can't. And if I've got any frustration with the folks in Congress now, it's that sometimes it seems like we've been stuck negotiating with ourselves. It's pretty clear to me that a lot of folks on the other team don't have much interest in solving some of these problems, and that's fine. We will accept their support when they offer it, but we got to lead when they won't. Folks didn't put us in these positions just to make nice. They put us here, I think, to solve some of the problems that they face in their everyday lives. What we learned, I think, in the State House and State Senate was a lot of folks aren't actually interested in doing anything other than taking pot shots and pointing fingers and picking fights. I told somebody the Republicans in the legislature don't really like being in the minority, and they're not very good at it. They just need more practice. I think like 30 years on that. So I think the president was right. He said we should extend our hand to those who are willing to unclench their fist. But at the end of the day, we got to use the power that we earn in Colorado and across the country to advance the agenda that the American people voted for. I want to be part of that team. That's why I'm running for the Senate. I would be honored to have your support. Thanks very much.